So after that, the choice was to continue somewhere else, the diplomatic field, or maybe continue with India. So entrepreneurial side of me can say that now you have the knowledge about India, you have the experience and you have the network, so why not do something? So what I'm now doing is that I've started my own company, and I'm doing activities in the merger and acquisition side. But then there is this other startup kind of element which I'm very so interested in developing further. Because I do believe that there's a lot of innovation happening in the Nordic region. Today in India there's a lot of innovation which is taking place as well. We also see if there is a area where we can bring those entrepreneurs together.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Great to have you sharing, great to have you all here. Basically, I started my first business when I was 6 years of age with my older brother. We're making plaster of Paris statues. And he was the manufacturer and I was the salesman. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Our target market was old ladies. We set up a stall in the front of our house and we went about selling plaster of Paris statues. And that's really how my entrepreneur life started in startups. It was my very first startup. We basically then reinvested that money and got more product and then continue that duplication. Then my brother went and sold all the profits on, he had to have the latest and greatest new toy. And he actually, he bought a bike and then bought some toys. So that was actually the growth and the downward spiral of my first business.
Taught you about partnership, didn't it?
Partnership, absolutely. Well, key partnerships are very important, and sometimes family aren't the best choice of partnerships. That was a great learning experience at such a young age. And then actually my first major company was Bedrock Mats. We made bathroom appliances and mats and things out of stone. So actually quite elegant in design. I actually sold that company in 2009. And I'm actually now producing a film. So I was involved in startups in Bali, sales and marketing. I brought a large firm over into Indonesia and we set up an office in Indonesia, Bali. We had nothing on the ground, nothing at all, but we had some capital behind us. So we started from scratch. So I have experience in the startup industry, the startup space, taking an idea, nurturing an idea, and then bringing it to fruition. I also was running women's groups in Singapore for 3 years. I just handed that off to a friend of mine who's running retreats for women, empowering women to come up with ideas and concepts that can come to large-scale businesses. Why can't a woman come up with an idea like Facebook? I mean, Facebook was born pretty much in 2006, and look at it today. So I think that women are our future leaders. We have Hillary Clinton. She said that it is actually our hugest untapped resource is women. And so I think that it's great having a woman panelist on today. And she has a very inspiring story to share. But I really want to also touch on I think we can all agree now that really business needs to innovate or advise. There's so many examples. And innovation is not something new. I mean, if you go back into the history of the Walt Disney companies, they were doing innovation from the get-go. So this is in the 1960s. They had rooms called dream rooms. Well, actually, in the corporate environment, they actually have rooms where you go in an afternoon, because once you've eaten, then you feel a little bit tired or whatnot, and in the afternoon, the sun's starting to set a little bit, and actually they found that that's when a lot of the ideas come to people. So they actually had rooms where ideas could be born. Google has something similar today. They actually have rooms where you can sit and meditate, and then they have like a board. You write down different ideas and concepts that actually come to people. So it's not something new. There are corporations out there that are actually on the leading edge of innovation. Google, Facebook, they do the same. They're on the leading edge. Amazon do the same. Zappos do the same. Now, a lot of these different companies, they acquire each other. So you had Kmart that bought Blockbuster, and then they also finance Netflix. So there's different ways that you can actually hedge the bets as well. What I would like to now learn from my fellow panelist, Jacqueline, is how does the corporate then go and find a relevant startup. So Jacqueline's going to share her startup experience.
Hello, yes, so thanks very much, John. So yes, when I actually read this session and signed up for it, it really shocked me to think that people would actually think that you couldn't have startup mentality in large organisations, because I've worked for Hewlett-Packard, or various forms of Hewlett-Packard. I work for now Hewlett-Packard Enterprise since November of last year, but for the last 28 years I've been in Hewlett-Packard. And I've had many opportunities to lead, and I've been in many different countries and in different roles, in country, in region, and at a global role now for the last 9 years. And I'm British, but I live in France, so very multicultural, multinational organisation. And we have over 240,000 people in the company, so we're big. And last year we turned over $52 billion. How on earth? Yeah, it's big, right?
Yeah,
but the mentality within our organisation is very much like a startup. And it's to do with leadership, it's to do with mentors, it's to do with our key values in the company. And my role right now is as a global marketing manager for a new product. 2 years ago, our CEO, Meg Whitman, she's a woman, she came from eBay, a startup once upon a time. And her and her board of directors decided that in order for us to be successful, we needed to create a new product, a new software product that was going to be very instrumental in the data center. And if we could own that customer's management solution, then we would own their data center. So there was very much a business thinking behind the philosophy of this startup. So I joined this small team of people, and we created a product. So I was the marketing lead, I am still the marketing lead, and we had a small team of engineers, and we've grown. We started off with very few, and now we have 600 engineers. What I really wanted to share with you is that I was lucky because I was in a fairly risk-free environment. I had the financial backing because of a large organisation. I didn't have the pressure on my shoulders to deliver profit and revenue from day one. It didn't mean that we could rest on our laurels though, because it's only so long that you can, stay in your job, right? So I had the support of management. I think that's really important. I also had the support financial backing as well. We also were able to make mistakes along the way and learn from them. Today, our product is firmly established. We have companies from all around the world that are using our product and they're relying on our product. I mentioned we've grown our engineering team to 700 people. We have a team of 3 in product marketing. That's mainly because we rely on our countries and the resources in country, so that we have that startup mentality, talking to our customers, building those relationships. Our charter is to help our customers innovate and to help them differentiate and be leaders in their industries. So if we're not able to innovate ourselves, how do we gain the respect from our clients? How do we even win any business? So for me, the startup mentality is absolutely critical to the survival of all large corporations. So that's really what I wanted to share with you, and maybe we should take some time to get some other thoughts around startup mentality. One thing I will say, because I think I spoke to this gentleman here, is that you were trying to explain how do we match large corporations that have all this governance and infrastructure, but perhaps and have the financial backing with the mentality that is required by the venture capitalists to help invest and go very fast, because we have this reputation for being slow, being elephants. I think the way I've seen it work is, certainly from Hewlett-Packard Enterprise's perspective, we have a startup program we know where our business is, we know what we're good at, we know our key value proposition, and we know that we can't do it alone, so we look for partners. And those partners are startups. So I'm not saying that we can offer assistance like the venture capitalists to all startups, but if there is a niche that we are looking to fill and we can't do it ourselves, we will work with our startup program and embrace those and collaborate. So I would say that because we do have that financial backing, but it's for a very focused set of companies that are on the same journey as us and want to be on the same place. And I'd also say that when I started HP 28 years ago, we were a large company and we still are a market leader, but we have to work a lot harder now. Back then, we only had the big IBM, HP. We didn't really have a lot of small companies coming very quickly, nimble, like the Panther, like the Leopard, with great products. So we have to, again, in order to compete with these Simplicities, Nutanix, NetApp, we have to be able to embrace, act, think, and deliver products just like a startup. So I just wanted to share that.
Also, presumably, I'm sure that people, how do you actually implement startup? So let me just ask you, does anyone think that startups in a corporate environment is it a good idea?
It's a good idea, but but it needs support from the top management. How do because every top management is not supportive to such person. So how do you bridge that gap, or like he said, how to bridge that gap between ideas and the financial finance?
Yes, I have a
Yeah,
question.
just to support what you're saying. See, for me, the corporate world is kind of driven on quarterly results. While the startups is something where it's a very difficult. It's finding that combination which is the tough. To further develop what you say, I think it's very, very true that the big corporates now today is engaging with the startups and so on. The feeling I have is that that's very true, but it works perfectly fine in the US, where the universities are driven by research. As soon as you come out of the US, I think it's all scattered, and maybe in India it's not functioning at all. So that's a little bit where I see where these things are.
No, in India there are incubators.
Today,
And
now it is
IITs, there
developed.
are universities, the government is supporting this incubator concept.
Yes.
Which I was telling in the morning also. India government, SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India, where I was working, they actually promoted this idea. There are rooms given, laboratories given, where they develop the prototypes. Our engineers are supposed to be the brainiest in the world.